Question number 16 on the reading portion of College Board's Test 3. As used line 58, credit most merely means. So credit in this case, this is a vocab question. You have to identify the word in the passage, read around the word for context, come up with your own definition for that word or phrase, and only then look at answers A, B, C, D, and see which one, when you replace it in the sentence, matches the original meaning of the original word. If you credit the demographers, this transit trend has legs. So if you give them credit, if you give them a certain level of acceptance or believability, if you credit them with saying this thing, if you give them, again, credit, it's not like physical credit like money, but it's like you give them a little bit of intellectual, academic, points, a little bit of credit. Okay, good job, because we believe you, we think that this is reasonable. That's what I think that means. If you credit the demographers, if you tell them that they're correct, if you endow the demographers, an endowment means that you give someone something, or they have a gift, or it's an exceptionally good thing. So if you endow someone, the Creator endowed us with certain inalienable rights, right? Gave us or gifted us something. You don't endow the demographers, no. If you attribute the demographers, if you attribute attribute means that you give like a painting can be attributed to Van Gogh or something like that. It's attributed, even though it's not signed. It's like, this is who we think it is. We're giving credit for something. But credit not in the case, again, this is tricky. This is tricky. If you attribute the demographers, if you give them credit, but not in the sense of if you credit the demographers, or if you attribute the demographers. You can't attribute a demographer. You can attribute something to demographers, but you can't attribute the demographers. Let's go back to that one. If you believe the demographers, maybe. If you believe the demographers, this transit trend has legs. If you credit them, if you say yes, you did the right thing, that was true. If you believe the demographers, maybe. If you honor the demographers, honor like we're going to bow down and worship them, no. Okay, so we're down between attribute and believe. If you attribute the demographers, that doesn't make any sense. How can you attribute demographers? Grammatically, that makes no sense. Even though credit, you can give credit to someone, right? That's more or less if you kind of give them credence, or you give them belief, or you give them a certain level of IQ points. But if you attribute the demographers can be attributed to something, right? Like, oh, this painting can be attributed to this guy. This work can be attributed. This consequence can be attributed to the CEO who made a bad decision. But that has nothing to do with if you attribute the demographers. It's going to be if you believe. If you believe the demographers, this has legs. So if you believe that the demographers, with what they're saying, this is going to have legs. This idea makes sense, because what is this whole paragraph talking about? The demographics of the country. It's talking about the types of people in our country, the age groups, and how they are more, or they show a preference, or maybe they show a proclivity to use public transportation. This was a little bit of a tough one, because attribute seems right, but when you plugged it into the sentence, it just didn't make any sense. Believe in this case is going to be the most credible answer. The answer number 16 is going to be C.